This is probably the fifth or sixth company now.
Yeah. See. Yeah.
And then it takes time,
It
right?
takes
Like,
time to grow. You gotta. It's nothing happens overnight. You gotta put in the work. You gotta be consistent with it, and just keep grinding every day, man. This whole fitness journey and the supplement industry, it's all a grind.
what got you into supplements? Like, why supplements? You could have done a million things. Why the business of
Well,
supplements?
I've been an athlete all my life.
Yeah.
So I've been involved in sports. I grew up playing tennis in high school, played number one in college, went to Chapman University, tried to go professional for a little bit after that. And then I was, just like Julian was talking about, I was skinny myself. So I wanted to get in the gym because tennis players aren't really bodybuilders or into fitness.
Yeah.
They're more, they'll do like more endurance training or like some more sprinting stuff. So they weren't really like trying to get big as far as the lifting weights. So once I stopped trying to compete professionally, I wanted to get in the gym and grow more muscle. And then just my mind was just kind of going through thoughts of like, what do you want to do now? What do you want to do now? You graduated college, you try to go professional, so just start a business. So I met my former business partner, and he was into the bodybuilding scene, and then we just said let's start our own supplement brand, and one thing led to another, and then we just sat down literally in his bedroom, came up with like names for our first company, and then figured out what product we wanted to put on in the market. And our first product was a vitamin. So that was pretty, because everyone needs a vitamin. Doesn't matter if you're in the fitness industry or not. A vitamin is always a great supplement to help with your immune system, and your metabolism as well. So we kind of came up with some ideas and strategies, and then 1 week went from 1 week to 1 month, and then years, and then we just kept growing.
And then you're on to Ripple now, right?
Yeah, Ripple Supplements is my new brand. It's been around for the last 18 months. In 2010, I was one of the co-founders of High Performance Nutrition, HPN. And then we also had a partnership with Mossy Arias, who owns True Supplements. She's really big in the fitness industry. When I started in 2010, I was in the industry for until about 2018, 2019. Then decided to take a little break from the fitness industry because it's a grind. It's like, night and day owning a business. We had 14, 15 employees. So after 2018, 2019, I was like, I need to get out of the fitness industry for a little bit, just take a little break. And then a couple years ago, I kind of got that itch again to start my own brand, and it's been pretty going pretty well.
Nice.
Been pretty growing, yep.
And when it comes to like bodybuilders and guys that have never done it, that like from a sponsor's like point of view, what do you look for? Like, if I'm like, man, I want to work out,
Yeah,
and bodybuild and get to the next level,
yeah,
but I don't have any money,
right.
but this costs time. So how do I make that tater tot like
Well,
even? You know what I mean?
For
Make
me,
money and
yeah, for me to kind of take someone serious
yeah,
and be a sponsor for them. Um,
or any company like from that level, like what do they look for?
we're looking for people who are consistent and disciplined. To be honest with you, you have to have some sort of a track record where you've been consistent and you're showing value that's going to represent my brand as well. So it's like if I'm gonna say, hey, I would love to sponsor you, you're owning up to Ripple Supplements, which is part of me now.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're gonna have bad habits and bad decisions, it's gonna come back on me. It's gonna make my brand look bad. So it's like I got to put myself in a great situation of who I'm going to be picking to be an athlete and represent my brand.
So you can't just be buff.
I can't no. So I'm very very picky about who we choose.
Okay.
You have to be picky. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. Any business, even someone who's going to go hire somebody from Google, Nike, they're gonna be picky who they hire. They're not going to just hire someone who's had 3 jobs in the last 3 months. They want to see a track record of past history.
True. It's a good one.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep.
And then you don't want to just be the biggest guy in the gym, the buffest guy. You want to have like followers. And what about the back end? What you look as like, supplement companies, like what do you guys look for influencers and stuff like that?
As far as when it comes to influencers, we get a lot of DMs and we get a lot of emails. Hey, we would love to be part of your brand.
Mhm.
But when I start doing the research on their accounts or kind of what they've been representing, it comes down to it doesn't necessarily have to come down to their followers, but it comes down to their engagement and how they're capturing audience and what type of performance their IG page is actually doing. Like how consistent are they posting and what kind of track history they've had in the past. So if someone just started an IG account 2, 3 months ago and has 10,000 followers and you go on there and see what kind of comments and they only have 2 comments, it's not an authentic account. So there's a way of kind of figuring out who's kind of being real and kind of who's being fake.
Mm, that's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy because like even with Instagram too, like I don't think I've ever commented on anybody's page.
Mm-hmm.
If I do, it's just like even with yours too, like I'm
Yeah.
like bro, like remember when you ripped your
Yeah.
bicep? I was like, bro, are you okay? Like me and
Yeah.
you talk, but I've never commented on your stuff.
Right.
Know?
That's the funny thing about it too is like when a lot of your followers are people that you actually know, most of the time they'll DM you versus commenting on it, and it's like, hey, bro,
Definitely.
comment on my
Yeah.
like and share it and
Yeah.
comment, man, like because that's what gets me more traction and engagement. But like your friends don't know that, and obviously you don't want to go to them and try and leverage that to them because now it's not genuine. Now it's like you're trying to leverage your friends to also leverage your value, you know, and I don't think that's the way to do it. I think be very genuine, you know. Like when I tore my bicep and you reached out to me, like the fact that you reached out to me directly, that's more valuable than the traction that I would have gotten off of that,
Yeah.
because that means you actually cared, and it means more to me personally than what I could have probably gained off of, like, from a monetary perspective.
But the sponsors,
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah, but
sponsors are
sponsors,
like, you know what, like,
yeah, but sponsors will come though. Like to Ollie's point, if you're consistent, if you're doing your part and everything that you're supposed to be doing, people are gonna want to work with you. So, in my opinion, and I'm not working with any sponsors right now because I'm very picky over who I'm going to work with. But in my opinion, if you're doing everything consistently and doing it the right way, you don't have to go beating down people's doors to sponsor you. They're gonna come beating down your door to sponsor you
right.
because they're like, hey, you're putting in the work, you're consistent, your engagement there, your traction's there. Clearly, you care about it. How can I work with you so we could both raise up together, you know, so we could both see more profits? And I think that's what a lot of people should probably focus more of their effort and energy on versus trying to create that one video that's going to get you to go viral, or that one thing. Like, you put so much effort and energy into that and it may not even work out in your favor the way you want. But if you stay consistent and you just grind, it's funny. And Ali probably can attest to this. It's funny how many people out there that put like 8 years in to be in an overnight success, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like you don't see the 3-5 years it took
No.
of them working to become that overnight success.
Yeah.
You just see that blow up, and you're like, they just blew up out of nowhere. It's like, no, this person's been grinding in the background.
They've been
for
sleeping on a
years.
couch for years. They've been
Yeah.
they've been eating ramens for years. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
they're sacrificing.
Yeah, they've been
man.
sacrificing all the time.
Exactly.
You know, it doesn't happen overnight. No one
Yeah.
knows everyone's story.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Everybody has, no, you're right. But what about the guys that are like, gym rats, but they love being in the gym and they're bodybuilding and everything, but they don't even know how to use Instagram.
Well, I think that's charisma too, though. I think you could be the biggest guy in the gym, but if you don't have charisma and you can't talk to people, you're not going to be engaging. And if you don't project positive energy in an inviting environment, people aren't going to talk to you. Because it's like when you and I first met, Emmett. Like, you know, like, I don't want to sound arrogant, but yeah, I'm the biggest guy in the gym when we were there, you know. But it's like I wasn't giving off energy like I'm better than everybody because I'm bigger. I was giving off energy like, hey, I'm here trying to better myself just like all of you are, and hopefully we could all be better together, you know?
Yeah.
it
You're right.
comes down to personality, or you're a people's person as well. You know, you can be a big guy, but if you have no personal traits, or if you're not friendly with someone, no one's gonna want to be your friend.
Yeah.
You know.
No, you're right. You're right. So I like the conversation that we were having earlier too.
Mhm.
How like Nike hasn't even touched bodybuilding yet. I think
Yeah.
bodybuilding is like it's nowhere close to like what it should be at. You know what I mean? Blowed up.
Yeah.
And I know you go to like shows and you've been in shows. How did your last show go?
My last show did good. So it was my first show. I just recently got into bodybuilding. It was my first show. I
What was
took
it called?
third in men's physique. It was a very interesting experience. I learned a lot of things that I didn't know about the industry, and I learned a lot of things about when it comes to prepping for a competition, what to do. and a lot of things to not do, so you could save yourself time and energy just on being there. Because what they don't tell you and what you don't know is there's a lot of downtime
Mm-hmm.
when you're going to compete in bodybuilding, because you have time from when you hit stage your first time until you go back to judging to finals. And there's a lot of downtime in between. There's a lot of downtime before, especially if you get your tan at the venue.
Yeah.
Like usually they're going to tan you at like 6 in the morning, but you're probably not going to hit stage until like 12 or 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a ton of downtime in between there. And then you're probably not going to come back for final judging until like 5, even maybe 7 o'clock at night. So there's a lot of downtime in between there. But overall, I loved it. It was a great experience. It's funny because I get my footage back from it tomorrow, so I'll be able to share it with you. But a lot of people were asking me if I was nervous and this and that. And I was nervous backstage, pumping up, getting ready for it. But the moment I stepped on the stage, dude, it was like, I felt like Tom Brady, man.
Nice.
Man in the
Your
arena,
nerves went
bro.
away,
Yeah,
right? Hail
man in the
Marys?
arena. I felt like I was doing exactly what
Throwing
God
Hail
meant me
Marys
to
all
do.
day,
Awesome,
huh?
man.
Yeah, man. I felt like I was flying in that moment. Like you couldn't tell me anything. Like even though I didn't take first, in my mind I took first. Because I went up there, I know I put in the work, I gave it my best shot.
Yeah.
I know that I brought my best physique that I could have brought at that present moment, and it makes me hungry and excited to go for my next one in April when I go for the Grand Prix in LA.
Nice.
And like this is something I've decided to like dedicate my life to, because I feel like this is what I was born to do.
You
Like,
left Google. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know, right?
You know what I mean? Like that's the number one company everyone wants to work
bro, I
for.
walked
Free
away.
oil changes.
I walked away from a
freaking
$250,000
food,
a year
everything.
job to go into a career that it's probably going to take me years to get that same kind of revenue back,
course.
Yeah.
But to me, it's fortune favors the bold. I don't know. You take a risk, you gamble, you bet on yourself.
Mhm.
And even if I don't get to those numbers where I'm making like millions a year in bodybuilding, the fact that I took a shot and I tried, it's all I need.
Yeah.
It's all the validation I need for myself, man. And through that, I find that it's inspiring to other people, because there's people that have known me for my whole life. Like you guys know me as like this buff guy, right? Like this strong muscular guy, but I've been like this super skinny nerd for like 30 years, bro. And like all the people that have known me for all that time, like it motivates them, because they're like, holy shit, if you could do it, I could do something as well too, positive with my life,
Yeah.
And I think
Great
that's
that
what's
you took a
important.
risk on yourself, man. Because who knows? You be working at Google right now, and you be like, man, I wish I was in the fitness world. You
Yeah.
constantly be doubting yourself.
Yeah.
But there's no doubt anymore.
Yeah.
So hats off to you for that, dude.
Yeah. And
But
I'm
the
going to
paycheck
keep.
would have been nice too, right?
Hell yeah, the
Yeah.
paycheck would be nice, bro. It's always nice to make
Yeah,
more
the
money. You can
security
do
is
more
always
things.
You can
nice,
adjust
you
it,
know?
bro.
Yeah, it's always nice to
Yeah.
make more money and do more
Yeah,
things,
the
bro.
Security is
But you
always
have-
nice, but
Yeah.
you know.
But yeah, but Google is Google, man. They got free food, free oil changes, all this stuff going
Free
on.
Oh,
laundry.
bro,
Free
bro,
laundry, oh my
bro,
God.
my job there. So I kick myself sometimes, man, because it was so sweet, bro. Like they catered lunch into us every day, bro. Like
Every day.
I got free clothing and free swag, like free computer, like so many free perks, man, and like ridiculous medical benefits. Like they pay for so many things. Like they gave me like $3,500 a month on dental, just using whatever I want, so cosmetic or anything.
That's awesome.
So it doesn't matter. You can use
Yeah.
it to buy your veneers if you want it. They don't care. It's
Yeah.
yours. You use it for whatever you want, and it renews every year. Like the benefits are ridiculous, and it's like they take care of their employees so well that to be honest with you, like when I walked away from and decided to go into bodybuilding, there was a long period where I was like, fuck. Like
Yeah,
this
I
is
was-
Should I
this,
do it?
yeah, like this
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
bad idea. And then right after I tore my bicep too. And that's like, remember when I tore my bicep like right after, and I was like, shit. And I was supposed to compete that month. And it was
Oh my
like,
God.
man, so it just felt like everything was spiraling downwards and crashing down. But I don't know. I feel like those are the moments that kind of make us and define us, man. Like when you go through the fire, when you go through the muck, it's like, are you going to quit and run back to what's comfortable and go back to your comfort zone? Or are you going to persevere and push through, and make it to the other side? Because the risk for reward factor is like, this career goes the way that I want it to go, dude. I'm making, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars a year working out, teaching people how to take care of their bodies better and doing what I love versus working at Google, sitting at a desk, talking to people about AdWords, which
That's the thing. You got your
shit about
freedom
it.
right now.
Yeah.
It's you have any time of the day you can train a client. You have your own schedule.
Exactly.
You're not reporting somewhere
No.
8 to 5. So
No.
that's the thing about believing in yourself and starting your own brand.
Yeah.
You have that freedom.
Yeah. But as you know, though, because this isn't your first company, as you know, that freedom also comes with a lot of sacrifices.
Yeah,
Like you don't have the boss over you that just tells you what you got to do. You're the boss.
Yeah, you're the boss.
So
Yeah.
you got to be
You
disciplined.
got to be motivated
Yeah,
yourself.
exactly. Because nobody's going to tell you to do it. You got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to set the own clock. And not only that, you got to lead the example for the other employees you have that are
Exactly.
following you, you know?
Yeah, especially if you have clients, you got to be that lead example.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You're not going to have a business or a clientele if you're not doing what you're telling them you're doing.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
No, I guess tough. I know what you mean.
Yeah, man.
Regarding like fitness, when you're training people and stuff like that. Now I even seen it too from like a lot of different perspective. I see like a lot of entrepreneurs. I interview a lot of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I see like those video trainers going really viral. I see
Mhm.
a lot of fitness apps going viral, like especially WeWork. You'll be surprised, especially with AI nowadays. You can do anything you want.
Yeah, pretty
Takes
much.
seconds to build like a fitness app now.
Right.
You know, with AI, because you just need coding and you just have to have a nice design and stuff like that. So, have you messed with any of that stuff?
No, I mean, I don't really know where AI would fit into what I'm trying to do. Like I've shared with you like some of my aspirations. Like my aspiration eventually is to get to a point in bodybuilding where my brand and my name is big enough to where I could bring a brand like Nike to the sport. Because it's a sport that makes tons of money. It's a ton of value in the sport, right? But the sport doesn't have any big brands that are involved in sports or athleticism at all across the globe involved in it. Like you got a bunch of local brands which are doing pretty well. You know, I don't want to drop any specifically, but there's a couple local brands that are doing pretty well themselves, but they don't have any global brands that have reach like that, like a Nike, like a Lululemon, like a Under Armour, or like a what like Adidas, you know, or anybody else. They don't have like a big brand like that. And I think it's such a shame. I think it's such a gap that's missing. I mean, bodybuilding is kind of the forefront for a lot of fitness and everything in general. I mean, bodybuilders are crazy. These guys are testing all kind of peptides and chemicals in their body,
Yeah.
you know, to get a certain outcome, you know, and if you think like a lot of these sports like NFL and NBA guys and stuff aren't stealing some of those things as far as like techniques or like regimens or compounds for their own sport, I mean, of course they are.
Yeah.
Like, you know, none of these guys are 100% natural, you know?
Right. No, none of them.
Man, no.
You can't be natural when you're at that high level.
No, man. No, man.
It gets tougher, and as you move up, it gets harder, right?
Well, yeah.
Sustain that and have that sustainability. I can see that.
Yeah.
When it comes to Nike and stuff, why don't you think Nike has touched it? I mean, Nike's a big brand. Why not? Or even Adidas. Or Reebok.
Well,
nobody's like, be like, yo, this is because I think if you correct me if I'm wrong, America leads bodybuilding. So guys that live in Australia, the guys that live in London, they want American brands. They want
usually.
American stuff.
Yeah,
usually.
Australia is actually the #1 place in the world for fitness, for supplements.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, because we used to sell to Australia all the time.
But they want American brand, right?
American
They
brand.
want that American sticker, like American guys made it.
manufactured,
Yeah, that's crazy.
They want that, they want that flag.
So is that like something that like they want, but they won't take their brand?
They won't. There's not so many Australian supplement companies, to be honest
Why?
with you. I don't know. I
I think it's supplies and hard. Like
You
it's
know,
expensive
it is
to
over
ship
there.
stuff into.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Like my buddy. I have a couple buddies that are in the music industry and they're in bands. And I'm not a cigarette smoker, but they smoke cigarettes, and they just tell me the cost of cigarettes over there versus here. Like when they do tours over here, they buy like tons of cigarettes because they're like, dude, it's so cheap here. You get a pack of cigarettes for like $7. Like back home, it's like $30 for a pack of cigarettes. I'm like, damn, that's a crazy habit. Dude. Like,
It is, man.
that's a crazy expensive habit, man. $30 every time you want to smoke a piece of tobacco. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
But like the cost of import and export into Australia is very expensive. So a lot of their stuff is a lot of things are hard to get there. And the things that you can get there, usually it's the price point's a lot different because it's the import and export's a lot higher there. I mean, if you look at it though, it's a hard place to get to. It's kind of remote, Australia.
Yeah.
It's out in the middle of nowhere, man. Yeah.
What about like Dubai, where these new companies are coming up? They're willing to pay for it. They have a lot of money coming up. What, have you experienced with other companies?
Not in Dubai, not that much. But the thing is when you're sending things just like products, if let's say someone were to buy our creatine or our fat burner, if you're selling shipping a couple of products, the customs is really hard. You have to go through customs, and you have to fill out a customs form. to get the products in over there. And if they hold on to the products, they make whoever is supposed to come and pick up the products pay taxes on that. So taxes are very expensive when it comes to custom products being seized. So it's like if they spent $80 buying our products and they spent $30 shipping it, then they have to spend another $100 on the taxes. It's like, dude, I just spent more money on the taxes than I did on the supplements. So that's why some people don't buy from international that much.
What about having manufacturers over there?
Manufacturers over there, yeah, I mean, they could do it because they have the money.
No,
over
but like
there.
for example, like you.
Me,
Yeah, rather than
I don't.
manufacturing
I'm not gonna trust someone in another country to manufacture my products.
Oh,
That's just
A lot of
I'm
risk
not gonna do
involved,
it.
man.
You know,
Yeah.
because they could do a lot of fillers, right? So all of our products are expensive to make because we use a lot of trademark ingredients, and we have all of our products not only tested through our manufacturer, but they're all in a good manufacturing practice facility done. It's called GMP, right? So not all the supplements that all these supplement companies create are manufactured in a GMP facility. So we take pride in doing that with the manufacturers that we work with. They're all certified in a GMP facility. So you want to always buy products that are manufactured in a good manufacturing practice. So if I were to trust someone in Dubai, they're not going to have that certification over there, and I'm not going to know if they're being honest with me with the ingredient that I give them raw material, right? If I give them raw material creatine to put in the container, I'm not going to know if they actually used my creatine or they used something different.
no, what I meant to say was like if you own the facility over there,
Yeah,
you own the facility, you own the employees, you own whatever the machines you need to make them,
right.
but you make them there. You know what I mean? You assemble whatever you
Yeah.
chemicals or whatever. You know.
I think we would have to
Yeah.
be like a multi-million dollar brand to do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah.
a lot of upfront costs, man.
It's all volume. You know,
It's not level.
manufacturing is all volume. That's
Yeah.
how they make their money. So it's like I can't tell my manufacturer, hey, only make 50 jars. They're not gonna make any money. Like minimum quantity is like 2,000 bottles.
Yeah.
That's how they make their money.
Mhm.
You know, so it just comes down to numbers when it comes to manufacturing.
Yeah, you asked me a question about bringing Nike into the sport of bodybuilding and why that's not in the sport of bodybuilding. And I honestly think a lot of it goes into the darkness behind the sport of bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give me a-
You know, because it's no secret that bodybuilders take steroids,
Of
you
course,
know, of all
yeah.
kinds. And I think Nike and brands like that want to stay away from things like that.
Associated with that.
Yeah, they don't want to be associated with it, which is
Yeah.
kind of a shame though, because a lot of the athletes they're sponsoring are taking gear. You know what I
No.
mean? It's
It's like they're in the NBA or NFL. They're
yeah.
still taking gear, but they're just not associated with bodybuilding.
Right. Like I'm a huge LeBron fan, love the Lakers, but like this man's about to turn 45
I
and
know,
he's
dude.
averaging 25,
Come on, man. He's on
25,
something.
5 and 6 a night.
He's
Like
not eating rice and chicken all day long.
nah, man. And I know genetics are good, but like come on, man. You can't tell me that you're just dieting right, you
Yeah,
know?
no. All of them are taking something.
Yeah.
They're not gonna admit it.
No.
They're gonna lose all their sponsors.
Of course.
You know,
of
so
course.
that's just how it is.
I think that there's going to be a change though in the market soon. I think with the new presidency, I think with guys like RFK now getting in, being in charge of the health administration, I think a lot of this stuff, because he openly talks about how he takes TRT and stuff like that.
About that before. Yep.
Yeah, I think with conversations like that becoming more public and people talking about it more, I think eventually we'll get into a place where it's not so taboo
Right.
to talk about
That'd
it
be
or even to
great.
there's it.
There's so many benefits to taking steroids.
So many,
You know?
so many.
Yeah. So it's
Obviously they work. That's why
Yeah,
they
they
banned them.
work.
They work.
just the recovery aspect of
Yeah.
steroids. It's not
Yeah.
just about the muscle growth.
Yeah,
You know, the recovery aspect of it, and just like you're always in a good mood.
yeah.
You know.
And I think that's the main thing that people should focus on when it comes to stuff like that is like, of course, you're gonna have your people that abuse it, just like with anything. You
Yeah,
have people,
moderation, dude.
yeah, you have people who are alcoholics. You have people who probably smoke way too many cigarettes, all that stuff. So people are gonna abuse
Yep.
that. It's gonna happen regardless.
Right.
But like, if people only knew the benefits you would get and how much easier your life would be and your health would be overall
Correct.
if you took something.
Yes.
Especially as we get older, our bone density declines, our muscle mass declines,
Yeah,
our
the
cognitive
testosterone
ability declines,
in the middle,
everything.
the middle when you're in your middle 30s, your
Yeah.
testosterone starts
Yeah.
going down.
Same with women though.
Yeah, the estrogen
Yeah.
levels. You know. What
Yeah.
I mean?
And
Definitely.
women have testosterone as well too. They actually have
do.
more testosterone than they do estrogen. A lot of
Yeah.
women don't know that, but like, supplementing with a lot of these things, and it's not to the point where you're trying to actually like become a superhuman, but supplementing to where you can maintain an optimal level.
Yep.
There's something to be said there.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
So
100%.
it's a little munchkin over here.
Yeah. Do you know them?
Yeah, that's my girl. Her.
Oh, I was like, I don't know them at all. Nice.
Yeah, man.
But yeah,
So,
that's I think there's something to be said there, as far as that point of it. I mean, you look like you're in really good shape, Ali.
Thanks,
You look like
man.
you take
Yeah.
care of yourself pretty well, man.
Yeah, I mean, likewise yourself, dude. I mean, when you're in this industry, you're gonna be on. You gotta look good.
Yeah.
Like I always say too, like when I'm at the gym and I see like a personal trainer who doesn't look the part, like how is someone
I
paying
don't
them
know. I wonder
that
that.
money?
Yeah, I
It's
wonder
like
that.
someone. I'm not trying to talk shit, but like someone looks like 180 pounds, 200 pounds. They got like 25% body fat. How you paying them money to tell you to go how to
Yeah,
train?
yeah.
It's like it blows my mind, dude.
I wonder that as well too, because I see it all the time, and I won't call anybody out, of course, but
Yeah, I won't
I
either.
know people that are not in the best shape, and they're telling me about their clients this, their clients that, and it's
Right.
like, hey, with all due respect, you doesn't seem like you're taking the advice you're giving your clients. So like,
Exactly.
why are they going to you?
gotta
Like,
look
I
the
don't get
part,
it.
dude. You
Yeah.
gotta look the part.
Of course, of
If you don't look the
course,
part, no one's gonna believe you. They're not gonna
of
believe
course.
you that
That's half the battle. Your body is your billboard.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's but yeah, I wonder that same thing all the time because I see it happen a lot of time. I think part of that goes with some people want to. I think a lot of people are honestly intimidated.
Right.
I think a lot of people look at fitness in general and they get scared. I think a lot of people look at in shape guys and they get intimidated because I think there's a lack of knowledge and education, and they just think that gap from where they're at to where this person at is so far
Right.
that they'd rather work with somebody who's a little bit lower, closer to their level, because they
Right.
feel better about it.
More
It's like feel
comfortable.
like they understand them a little
Yeah.
bit more.
Yeah.
And in reality, it's like, hey, the extremely in shape person will understand you as well too, because there's a high chance that person didn't start out that way.
And of course,
You
not.
know?
Yeah, everyone's got their own battle
Yeah.
story they came with.
Yeah, there's a high chance they weren't always in the shape that they're in now. I mean, maybe they were, maybe they weren't, but there's a high chance they probably weren't.
Right.
So there's a lot to gain there and a lot of information and knowledge to share. But yeah, I think a lot of people are really just scared when it comes to taking their health serious.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people feel like they don't have the time, but it's really just not being able to manage your time well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
100%.
Like I get up at 3:30 a.m. every day so that I could be at the gym by 4:30, and that's how I met Emmett.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a little crazy. Yeah, it's it's a little crazy. Yeah, it's a little
like Kobe
crazy.
Bryant getting up at 3:00.
Right.
Training at 4.
Yeah,
4 a.m.
it's a little crazy,
Yeah.
and it's like it's not. I wouldn't ask anybody else to do it because you got to be a little crazy to do something like that. But it's
Right.
like you don't have to get up at 4 a.m. in order to prioritize your day well. Maybe you do
No.
it at the back half of your day. Maybe you do
Right.
it in the middle of your day for lunch.
Yeah, but you gotta implement that. You gotta, At some
Exactly.
point in the day, you gotta implement
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And maybe it's not an hour and a half workout like some
No.
people do going hard in the gym. Maybe it's a 30-minute, maybe it's
Yeah.
a 25-minute.
it. Right. You can still get a great workout for 30, 45 minutes
Oh,
if
yeah.
you just go hard.
Oh, yeah.
Go high volume. You're
Oh
good.
yeah, keep the intensity high. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If
Definitely.
you're not texting the whole time, you're gonna get a great workout.
100%.
Stay away from that phone.
100%. Oh, that's a big one.
I'd
Yeah,
stay
man.
on the phone, dude. I had to go get.
Yeah, you're always on the phone in
Yeah,
the
when
gym,
you're working
bro.
out, you gotta put that phone away,
Yeah,
man.
he's always
Bro,
on the
I
phone
have
in
so
the
many
gym, bro.
like.
I know. I get emails and messages, but I just like try to not acknowledge it for that time
I do
period.
not disturb while
Yeah,
I go
bro.
there because I
It's
need
like-
that time. Also, it's like my time like to myself.
Yeah.
It's the only time where I have where I'm doing something where it's like I control the input and output of it,
Mhm.
So I kind of use it as like my therapeutic moment to kind of process everything.
Definitely. It's your sanctuary.
Yeah,
The
man.
gym's my sanctuary. Get away from all the drama and stress.
Hell yeah.
How do you do that when you have music on? You have Spotify running.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you
That's
got text
motivating.
messages.
That's
Bro.
motivating.
Bro,
I need the music.
what's crazy
I got
about that,
Spotify
man?
running, and then on the back I got text messages coming
Yeah,
in. It's like,
you know
how
what's
do you keep that balance?
If I showed you like what I listen to when I work out, you'd probably think I'm a psychopath, bro.
Because of the Viking music, right? I've heard that.
Nah, I listen to like
Sinatra or
yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I'll put on some My Way by
Cool.
Frank Sinatra, man.
There you go.
I even put on some classical music, man. I've been listening to a lot of operatic music lately.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like the operas and most of it's in like I think like Italian or French, right? Or
Yeah.
like it's German, I think, or Dutch. But like I don't obviously understand the words, so I don't get so caught up in what they're saying.
Yeah.
it allows me to kind of just enjoy the melody and the actual rhythm and the harmony of the music while I'm working out. So I don't have to think about the words. So it allows my mind to be free.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little crazy to work out to like opera music, but
Definitely.
it allows you to not like think.
That's straight up serial killer, dude.
Yeah.
Straight up serial killer.
Yeah,
You
it's
ever
a
watch-
little
calm.
It's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
little.
it's like-
It's a little. It's a
You ever
little
see him?
weird.
He's like slicing the throat of someone.
He's lifting 315 and listening to Frank Sinatra.
Bro,
That's
seriously,
hilarious, man.
Like
seriously,
dancing
man.
with the weight.
It keeps
Yeah.
me. It keeps me focused, though, man. It keeps me in a good place where
Yeah.
I could actually think about the stuff I need to think about, and I'm not sitting here thinking about like the lyrics of the song or whatever. You know what I mean?
I listen to techno music, but with no
Yeah.
vocals.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
only like the beat. That's
Yeah,
all I
exactly.
listen to is the
Exactly.
beat. Once I get going with the beat, then it's just game over. I'm just
Yeah.
dialed in mentally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't ever listen to like.
I don't
You
even
never listen like at the end, nothing even matters and blah blah blah. Like that's what I listen to. Like, oh shit, like I'm doing all this stuff, and then at the end, nothing's gonna even fucking matter. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
fuck,
Yeah.
am I even doing the right thing? Like, fuck,
I mean,
is money
change
chasing
it
the
up.
right thing to do?
you know, that's a very good question, though,
Yeah.
Emmett, because that's a question that none of us will ever really find the answer out until it's over with. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
nobody's gonna be able to truly answer that. You know, ever.
Right.
Yeah, but
No,
see,
no.
that's the shit that gets my mind going, right? Like I'm just like fuck you and fuck you and fuck you and let's fucking go. You know, like.
Yeah.
But not in a bad way. Like I'm friends with
Yeah.
everybody. I don't have
Yeah,
enemies,
yeah.
but still, like, I'm like fuck. How do I make an enemy? You know, like.
Yeah, I feel you. I
Like,
feel
you know, whose door do I got to knock on and, you know, so piss them off so that I can become their enemy. But I don't have any enemies. So it's like, damn it. Like, how do you kind of get to that point where you're just like, you know, how do you build up fire, the motivation?
Yeah.
Right. So one thing that I lack with a lot too is like motivation
Mm-hmm.
because you just get drowned. You're
Mhm.
like, as you get older, dude, motivation is hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you're just like,
But for me, it's okay. I've always been kind of self-driven because I played tennis as an individual sport.
yeah.
So it's like you don't have teammates. You got to motivate yourself to go out on the court by yourself. You're just like
Yeah.
either you're with your coach or you're playing tournaments on your own. So
Yeah.
it's like if you play basketball or football, you might need some assistance there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but when I basically transferred over my train of thought through tennis into the bodybuilding world into business where I got to make shit happen on my own. You know, so it's like if I'm I hate waiting for other people to get stuff done. Even like with my graphic designer or my web developer, if I tell them to do something, I have to wait there. I would
Yeah.
rather if I knew how to do it, then I would do it on my own. But unfortunately, I don't know how to code or make websites or do graphics.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like, you know, if you're trying to get to that end goal, you should just be motivated the whole entire time. You got to find that drive, kind of something. You know, maybe with you it's finding enemies to light a fire under you.
Yeah.
But maybe there's other things where you can kind of look at what kind of motivates you and gets you on that right path.
No, it's not defining. It's just now it's like I want to help people, you know?
Yeah.
I want to help I want to help others. I want to help because when you just get to stages where you feel more self-satisfied.
Yeah. The older you get, the more mature you get too. You know, your mind totally changes and all that stuff.
Heck yeah, that's true, man. I think back on some of the frivolous things that mattered to me in like my early 20s and stuff, and I'm like, why was that even important? Why did I care about any of that? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I just turned 35 in October, and I feel like I have a lot more clarity in life now, and like what matters to me, what's important, and it's funny because family's always number one now.
Yeah,
Like,
me
family's
too.
always number one.
Yeah.
Like the time with my lady, my kid, my mom, my sisters, like that's always so much more important than anything else going on. You know, I'll drop anything for moments with them or anything that's going on with them.
That's great.
You know, because when I lay down at night, you know, especially like going through my injury, that was one thing that kind of like put a lot of stuff in perspective. It's like when you lose the ability to use your arm and like you're in the shower and like your girlfriend has to bathe you because you can't do it yourself, it humbles you. It humbles the hell out of you, but it also puts it in perspective. Like, yeah, this is what matters.
Yeah.
These are the things that matter. Like the people
Mm-hmm.
that are close to you are what matter. You know, because time is the only currency we can't
Get back.
measure.
That's right.
Well, also we can't measure. It's the
can't
only
measure or
currency
get
you
it
don't
back,
know how
yeah.
much you have of. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you spend it without knowing how much you have left of it.
Mhm.
So it's like I try to value those things more than others,
So
at least at this age.
I struggle with that, right? I struggle with that. And my dad tells me all the time too. He's like, dude, you struggle with that. You get
What?
obsessed.
Like valuing fam. What do you mean struggle?
Like
with
that's even family.
Okay.
Like I can get into a thought and I can run that thought all the way down.
Mm.
I like with me, like as a competitive sport. I mean, I didn't play in college level because I pulled my collarbone.
Yeah.
But before that, like, come from a fighting background, and brother's a boxer. I was a fighter in
Yeah.
UFC and stuff like that. Well, not in the UFC, but like martial arts and stuff.
Yeah.
Took second in state in wrestling. So, in junior year,
Mm.
so I was squatting 210 and benching. I was squatting almost 410 and benching 235, weighing 119. I was all American.
Wow, that's a
Nice.
strong ass guy right there,
Yeah.
man. That's a lot of weight.
That's
for
without
not a big
anything.
man,
That's
man.
just like- that's just like that's just
ridiculous,
one
man.
pissed off fucking teenager from getting his ass beat from his dad every day.
Yeah.
Straight up. Yep. I got fucking, you know what I mean? So like, I came from my dad was, he's love him to death.
If you don't mind me asking, do you have a problem where you like hyper focus on things, like when you're locked in on
Dude, I
something,
get
you're like
obsessed.
locked in, you get obsessed?
obsessed.
Yeah.
Like
got
I
a little
don't
ADD
lose
then?
lawsuits.
A little
Let me tell you this,
ADD
like
then?
knock on wood, I've never lost a lawsuit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I have 36 pending right now.
that's
Like I'm the guy that like you want like
bro, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm the guy that fucking like I'll be like if I don't like the deal I'll be like yo get the fuck
Yeah.
off my table, like I'm getting the next lawyer, and I'll tell the judge like your honor, like I'm gonna be back with another judge. You know what I mean? Like this guy can't do the job right. You know?
Yeah, that's
because
crazy,
for
man.
me, like I'm very smart to that point where I really, because I'm in the second deadliest job, and based on the trucks that I've managed, it got to the point where I know like okay, this is a God made law, this is a man made law.
Mhm.
Death is a real thing. So I've dealt with in those cases. I do want to pay. I
Yeah.
do want, you know what I mean, what we done, because that's different. Versus these guys, they're suing me because their car bro. You know how many cars, like I'm driving a semi truck, bro.
Yeah.
You know how many cars like barely even get touched, and the guy's like, "Oh, you broke my neck. Oh, man, I can't move my neck."
Yeah,
Like,
they're going
you know,
to. Yeah.
You go every billboard in LA right now. It's like fucking call Sweet James.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fucking guy, dude.
Yeah, 'cause I'm
Fuck
pa-
you.
think
You
Power
hate Sweet
One
James?
Six, Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't like Sweet James?
Yeah. The guy's after my insurance, so like, yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
fuck,
yeah.
you wanna come after me,
that's how he
like,
makes his living.
you know, and I'm
man.
self-insured, so yeah, this money didn't come easy, and I'm gonna fight for every penny.
Yeah, you got to, man.
So for me, like, bro, it's like, yo, this is man-made, this is God-made. So like, just because my truck barely bumped you doesn't mean like you're holding your neck now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. Like, oh, bro, personal injury lawyers are some of my favorites and some of my enemies.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so you get to that point where you're just fighting with them all the time,
Yeah, I think a lot of people hate lawyers.
Yeah, man.
bro. But it's,
Push everything back. And
Yeah,
run
even
like
when you
that.
need them, you hate them, man.
oh, bro, I
'cause they're
love
still-
lawyers. I love that
I-
game.
I-
That's my
I
that's my
can't
spe-
stand it.
Oh, dude, trucking is 100% lawsuits.
Mm-hmm.
It's 100% lawsuits.
It makes sense, man. I mean, it makes sense.
You don't pay me, I'm suing you, and after that day that invoice isn't there, I'm suing you for $500 a day. And $500 in 4 months becomes $72,000.
Man, that's crazy.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to give you like a little capture and how. So the money's inside the money,
Yeah.
inside the lawsuits. And the reason why is because if I don't pay that, my government, like the government's suing me for a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy. Let me ask you this: when it comes to like dietary, like what are you doing for diet?
Oh, that's funny, man.
That's one thing I
we
didn't
were
talk
talking about this where I feel like there's like a lot of gatekeepers in the fitness industry. So I have a pretty all over the place diet, and it's because when you prioritize your fitness and your health properly, you don't have to eat just like bland chicken and rice and broccoli to get
Broccoli,
results. Like no lie, like the week of my show, like 3 days before, I had like maybe 10 pancakes like piled up with butter and syrup, man. Like went going to town, bro. But I needed hella carbs, so I needed 1,000 grams of carbs that day. So that's the forms of carbs I chose to eat. But like I pretty much eat whatever I want. Like I'd eat clean for the most part, but I don't really like strictly diet. What I do though is I do focus on how high my fat content is, and also how high my caloric intake is overall. And I loosely measure out my macros, like of course like protein, carbs, and then your fats that you're taking in. But like I don't get all in the weeds on that stuff because I really don't feel like you have to. A lot of people turn these diets and like these crash diets, what makes people hate wanting to diet.
Right.
And I don't feel like you need to do that. I feel like just be conscious of what you're putting in your body. You know, and just limit the stuff that you know is not good for you. Like, yeah, it's okay to eat cookies. Yeah, it's okay to have some cake, ice cream, like have the stuff you want. But don't eat the whole fucking tub. You know what I mean? Like, have a little bit of it and then save a little bit for like another night. You know, have it in moderation. Or what you could even do is give yourself like scheduled days. Like treat it like a job. Like Monday through Friday, I'm gonna eat clean. On the weekends, I'll eat what I want.
Yeah.
They're saying when do you remove the artist from the art, right?
Yeah.
So like there's these guys that are talking about extreme, like, oh, you got to eat every day and you got to eat no cookies, nothing, and right after bodybuilding shows they're
eating pizza.
They're eating pizza
cream,
and stuff. Is that how it really is?
Nah, at least nah.
There's only a couple of people that go off the rails like that.
Yeah.
They'll gain like 10 pounds right after the show because they're eating shitty food.
Yeah.
But, you know, once they get off the show, yeah, they'll go have a cheat meal. They'll have a hamburger and fries or whatever, you know. Yeah. But the next day, they're kind of back on their shit again.
Yeah, but the problem with that is, though, is like if you want to have longevity in this sport, you gotta find a way to keep your diet consistent, because there's nothing harder than to go on a prep for peak week and then right after that go to eating like pizza and burgers and stuff and do whatever you want, and you put all this weight on. Then when it comes time for you to go back into your prep for peak week, it's that much harder to stay consistent with it because you've just been eating so loosely.
Yeah.
If you could stay consistent throughout the year, you don't have to eat like you're in peak week throughout the year, but if you could stay consistent with your diet and at least keep it relatively close to that, it's not that hard when it goes to cutting and stuff. Like, to me, it was funny backstage. There were a lot of guys that were complaining like, oh man, I'm so dehydrated, I'm so thirsty, I'm so hungry. Bro, I was chilling hardcore. I wasn't bothered at all because I eat this way mostly throughout the year, like clean for the most part. I eat what I want, but I try to keep it clean for the most part. So that way when I do have to diet, but it's not a big deal. Like when I do have to cut water, it's not a big deal because I'm overly hydrated most of the time, that I don't feel so depleted at that point, or I don't feel like all these sugar cravings or whatever because I've been keeping myself away from all this food, and then I'm going to binge it right after. And then it just opens up that door to make it harder for me to get back on the diet. Like if you just stay pretty consistent throughout the year and just monitor what you eat and do everything in moderation, like it's okay. Go to In-N-Out, go have a burger, go get pizza, go wherever you're going to go and get your fast food, whatever. Just do it in moderation. Don't make it your everyday meal. Like if you're going to like In-N-Out and because you work right by there and you go there on your lunch break every single day and eat a cheeseburger, maybe find something different to eat for your lunch break every day. Maybe only eat it a couple days out the week. Don't do it every single day.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're going to do it every single day, maybe counteract that with something else. Maybe add in a little bit extra cardio to counter that. Maybe be aware of what your other macros are in your body. Like you need a surplus to gain. You need a deficit to shrink, man.
Have you guys checked out like new stuff that's coming out for like healthy eating for diets? Like there's one that I use every table.
What's that?
It's on every corner. It's like $6 a meal and they meal prep for you.
Wait.
It's like a new franchise that's coming out.
It's called Every Table. What does it do exactly?
It's one like literally 1 mile away.
It's a meal prep.
Yeah.
They just send it to you?
No, they already have it ready.
You just go pick it up.
So you just walk in and you're just like, you just pick it up. That's it.
Is it through like certain companies or something, or
no? It's like it's a franchise that's coming up.
Place they have, so they open up like a brick and mortar location.
No. They're all over LA. They're all over Orange County. They're all over Riverside area. I have next one. My biggest client in trucking right now is HelloFresh and Factor, but they mail them to you. But every table, it's like right in front.
Yeah,
it's like right there. So rather than going to Jack in the Box and spending what nowadays like $18, you can go to there and get like a $6 meal and get that's all it costs, and you can get a pressed juice or whatever you want to do.
You know what problem I have with that and with those models? I feel like it takes away the accountability of the individual.
It does, the discipline of that, yeah.
It's way easier for me to skip out on my meal plan that I paid for, because it's like $6, whatever. It's way easier for me to skip out on that versus if I was in the kitchen, I made it myself and it's in the fridge. Now it's like, I just spent 2 hours making this. I'm not going to skip out on this shit.
Definitely.
You know, it's so much easier to be undisciplined and not have any accountability when you're doing it that way, because you're just looking at the small monetary amount that you invested into it and you're like, whatever, it's $6. Not going to make a difference in my life, not going to make a difference in my day. I'll go grab something else. And then that meal prep that you got delivered sits in your fridge. And you don't even fucking eat it.
I've dealt with that.
Oh, I know.
A couple of things that I've dealt with. So a couple of things that I tell my viewers that they can do.
Yeah.
Number one is, look, right now we're running this thing, right? Rather than us going to like In-N-Out, we can just throw a meal in the, if you have it there, because it's only $6.
In the microwave, you can warm it up.
$6 isn't that bad. Versus over there, it's like, it's different.
Yeah.
But it's still better than Jack in the Box.
Well, yeah.
Or McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah, relatively, yeah.
The fat content of it is going to be a lot cleaner.
Yeah, and it's more healthy. So, it's lesser of the evil. You see what I'm saying? That's
100%.
one. And second thing is a lot of people don't know this. So me and my friends do this. We'll hire a chef for $25 off of Craigslist an
Yeah.
hour, and there's like 7 of us. And this guy's a professional chef.
Right.
So one of my favorite chefs are Jamaican. I love like the spices they
I didn't even know
use.
you could do that. You could do that?
Yeah, you could do that.
What?
So literally,
I
like,
heard about that before.
yeah. So we do this all the
Yeah.
time. So there's 7 of us. You can be the 8th one, bro. So we're literally like, we just meal prep. He'll come over and he'll meal prep for us for the whole week.
Oh, that's tight.
And then we just buy him groceries, and we just buy groceries in bulk. So we all have like
Yeah, you,
all this
you give him
discount.
everything you want from
Makes
it.
sense,
The
yeah.
guy's a professional chef.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that one my viewers love. Like they're like, oh dude, I love that one. They
Right.
get like 8, like bro, like 4 hours worth of cooking
Yeah,
for
that's
8
smart.
people, and you divide $25 an hour. It comes out to be like $4 an hour, like $2 an hour.
Yeah.
That's smart.
You know what I
never
mean?
thought of that.
So that one right there, and they cook like, bro, you can't beat it. Like, that's how good it is. You can't beat it. It's a professional chef that went to
Yeah.
school for it.
Definitely.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like he can come over and like you get used to it to the point where you're like, dude, if I go out for a dinner date tonight, it's gonna be $200, right?
Mhm.
If I invite him over and I just set up the table and just get the groceries,
Yeah.
Amazon them here,
Right.
like literally it's gonna be like $100
Right.
and you're home
Right.
and your bed's right there. I'm just kidding. You know what I mean? But like the professional chef thing is becoming a big idea now.
Yeah.
It's getting bigger and bigger, and dude, the food is like delicious.
Well, of
Yeah.
course, yeah. They go to school for this. You know what I mean? They get educated in how to like hit certain palates in a certain way, man.
Mhm.
It's honestly, it's really cool. Like if you ever watch any of those cooking shows, man, how they get in detailed with it and like how just a little pinch of this gives it a little bit of that. Like it was really cool, man. I think it's very awesome the artistry behind it and the creativity that a lot of these chefs have.
And when they come over and they cook for you too, it's a whole different story, man.
Oh yeah,
I'm telling you, there's so many guys
Well, you
out
gotta
there.
remember, like someone that is on his level,
Yeah,
he's gonna have like specifics to tell the cook of how to cook the
Yeah, they'll
what
do that.
seasoning, and don't use butter.
And
You know
see
what I
that, and
That's one thing that's
but it
hidden.
and it murks up what they're gonna do though. So the
Exactly.
flavor palette, man. I
Yeah,
think
so it's like you might think it's gonna taste
yeah.
awesome, and it probably does, like to a regular person. But someone who's dieting has to have to watch the fat content of it. It's gonna not be bland, but it's not gonna taste just as good as what you're experiencing.
Yeah.
You got to think about that.
It's a more controlled. It's a more
Exactly.
controlled way of them doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And if you're an artist and you're used to being able to just freestyle it and do it based off of what you feel like your flavor profile
Right.
should be, it's like trying to shoot a basketball with one hand behind your back. Like you can still do it, but
Yeah.
obviously it's gonna be a lot harder.
little
It's
bit
not gonna be a
different.
clean
But
shot.
Yeah.
these guys know like millions of spices and
Yeah,
shit.
the
like,
thing
yeah.
is like he would have to tell the chef, like, hey, only use like 1/3 of that butter. Don't use that whole butter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean,
And they can do that, right?
My sodium levels have to be at X for the
Exactly.
day. So
yeah,
watching those chefs work, like from my experience, is like giving a guy a computer that's a coder.
yeah.
You know what I mean? When you got all the
The
supplements that you
ingredients
need,
right in front of you.
bro, they know how to fly right through it.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Okay.
you're talking like this is their profession.
yeah,
It's supposed they take like something. It's like telling a mechanic to put something together, right? So
definitely.
you tell them that they're gonna take it to the next level. And I've seen that happen multiple times,
Right.
and the food just gets better every time they cook it.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, and then so $25 an hour, like come on, dude, you
Yeah.
can't beat
Yeah,
that.
you can't beat that.
Yeah, you can't beat that, especially when you're dividing with like 8-10 friends.
Heck yeah.
You know,
Heck yeah. Ali, I know I asked you this question earlier, but I wanted to ask it again since we're in here shooting.
Of course.
Ripple. What made you come up with the name? What inspired the branding? What inspired like the color palette, everything behind Ripple? Like where does this come from?
So I was trying to explain to you. So in cryptocurrency, XRP is part of Ripple.
Mm-hmm.
So my brain was thinking, there's millions of people that own XRP that know about Ripple, and I also like the name Ripple because it's more of a water-based theme.
Yeah.
So our products are like our fat burners, like a drip. Our BCAs is called Tsunami. Our creatine is Storm, and our cleanse product is Cyclone. So everything flows very, very, very nicely. So especially too with the containers that we chose, they're clear containers, so you can see what's inside the product.
Mm-hmm.
Like majority of the containers, if you go on the shelf, if you walk into a
The dark, you can't see what's
you
in there.
can't,
Yeah,
you can't
yeah.
see what's in there, what kind of powder, what it looks like. Even our pills, they're like, we use like color pills, so you see what kind of pills they are.
Yeah.
So that's very important to me, when the consumer can actually see what they're buying instead of just buying a black container with not knowing what's inside of it.
I love that.
You know, it makes me, and when you have shelf presence, like we're in a couple of Max Muscles nutrition stores, a couple of studios and gyms.
Okay.
When you have shelf presence next to like other containers, it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
It's just your eye. It just goes straight to like the blue and white
Oh yeah.
instead of a black container.
Yeah.
So that was the whole thought of coming out with clear containers. The blue and white is kind of like ocean water base,
Mhm.
and then the name Ripple. It flows with everything that we've started.
I
Yeah, I
love
love
that.
it.
Yeah.
You know what's cool about going with the blue color palette? Me and my lady were recently talking about this because I told you we were talking about working on a supplement company.
Yeah.
And blue, when it comes to creating a brand, blue is the most trusted color you could go with. It's usually related with a lot of medical.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, people see blue, they
Calm.
trust it, it's calming.
Calmness. Yeah.
Yeah, versus using like a red or something like that.
Yeah.
Usually a lot of people stay away from red brands. They
Right.
gravitate more towards blue. It's usually more trusting.
Right.
Where do you see Ripple going? Like where do you want to take this to? In a perfect world 5 years from now.
5 years from now, definitely multi-million-dollar company.
Yeah.
Focused right now, like we stated off camera. We got the starting linebacker for the LA Chargers.
Yeah.
Representing us, Dayon Henley, working on another couple of NFL guys. I would love for my goal with Ripple is I've talked to his agent where we bring Ripple into the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
We have Ripple be the number one supplement company that the NFL has all athletes take.
Yeah.
And they can take it with a peace of mind because all of our products are tested. So they would come up clean. And we use a lot of trademark ingredients. Everything is backed by the dosages from the formulators. So that in a perfect world, I would love the NFL to pick up Ripple and have it be the number one supplement company in the world.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, man.
Amazing.
I love
Yeah.
that. Hey, you'll be
And
there, man.
your goal is pretty much bring Nike to bodybuilding.
Yeah, man. That's something
Yeah,
that's something that's a really serious passion of mine, man. That's something I'm very seriously hyper focused on. I'm really serious about that. I really feel like it's one of those marriages that are just bound to happen eventually. They just need the right person
Yeah.
to
I
not
need that Jordan.
yeah.
I need that Jordan. You know what I mean? Like I'm
yeah.
wearing the shoes right now, but like
Yeah.
Right.
once you get the Jordan in the
Right.
I
Yeah.
think what I can see you doing, to be honest, is having your own gym.
That's the goal.
I
That's the
think-
ultimate goal.
I think
Yeah.
you would do really well if you had your own facility
Oh yeah.
and you were the head trainer doing the diets. You bring on another dietitian
hmm
to help you out with the diets, and you just grow trainers.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see you being a gym owner. like,
That's my goal.
100%.
Yeah, that's my goal. I mean, that's part of the goal of like also in like the bodybuilding, but like my ultimate goal, like
Yeah.
ideally where I see myself in this career is of course making it to the Olympia, being
Right.
like a top 2 placement consistently, not just for 1 year, but year over year, having my own training facility,
Yep.
where I actually have other coaches that I bring in and teach them how to show compassion and train people the way that I do. So that way it's like I created a model that works and just replicate it and teach it to other people. So that way they can just keep that going.
hmm
Kind of like how self-made training facility does.
Yeah.
They're mainly like a private
They are a
training
private
facility
training, yeah.
only. Same thing, same kind of thing that I want to do, but I don't want to be private training only. I want regular people to be able to come into, because
Yeah.
not everybody's can afford to work with a coach. Not everybody feels comfortable working with a coach. Some people just want to try it and do it on their own.
hmm
And I don't want those people to feel alienated. But like that's ultimately the goal is to have like my own gym, my own facility I can go into. I mean,
Yeah.
how sick would that be, dude?
Yeah,
you
man.
know?
I could totally see you
Yeah?
doing that.
How
That's the
sick would
first
that be?
thought that came to my mind with you.
Well, that
is
can be
like,
the
he needs
back-
his own gym.
Thanks, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate
maybe the
that,
back
brother.
end, but the front end is like you're getting Nike and
Yeah.
trying to be the Jordan of it. And
That'd be great.
you
Yeah.
know,
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, how cool would that be though to like for Nike to be into like the bodybuilding sport,
That'd be
You
amazing.
see guys wearing those
Yeah.
brands. I mean, that would be ridiculous.
Yeah,
you
man.
as
know?
you get older, I mean, once I hit, I'm already 33. I can't play sports anymore. I can't be a UFC fighter anymore.
No, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
gotta,
But almost everybody could work out though.
yeah, everybody
Yeah.
can work out.
Yeah.
And that
It's-
bodybuilding, look at Lululemon, dude. I love Lululemon. So I know there's a space out there.
But definitely in bodybuilding. I mean, Lululemon would do great for like women's bikini, women's
Mhm.
wellness. Like those girls already wear a lot of that stuff anyway.
They
you
do.
know? It's like You know, there's only a few legging companies out there that are actually truly successful in the market and have a strong brand where they're going to be around for a while, and that's one of them. I mean, they would make a ton of money in that industry.
Yeah.
I think a thing, and I was telling Ali this when you stepped out. I think the thing with that is just, I think the sport itself is just so dark when it comes to PEDs that brands like that just want to stay away from it. They don't want to be associated with it.
Yeah.
And I think with like a lot of the things and the politics changing, I think eventually that's going to be more of a norm, and it's going to be more comfortable for people to know it's okay to optimize your health. It's okay to feel better. Like, you don't have to feel shamed. It doesn't have to be taboo. The whole like steroids and
Yeah.
don't take steroids, it's bad for you and all this stuff. Like, you know, a lot of the information that's coming out is kind of debunking that and realizing like, yeah, we're kind of not fed the truth on all this stuff. A lot of this stuff actually has a lot of good benefits, as long as you don't abuse it though, just like anything else.
Yeah.
As long as you don't abuse it. You know, you get to abusing it, then that's another road you go down. But as far as for like anybody, like if you're 45 plus and you're a male, your testosterone levels are lower. You should be supplementing with some kind of testosterone replacement therapy. You should be supplementing with some kind of growth hormone therapy, because once you hit 18, your body stops secreting GH, like almost to zero, essentially. I mean, it still secretes some, but it's like almost to zero, to where your body's not growing anymore because you hit your max size. So that means when you're sleeping, you're not fully recovering like you were when you were a kid. I mean, everybody can remember to where when they were a kid, where they like bumped their head or stubbed their toe or whatever, and you cried about it, but you were fine. Like the next day, you're
fine.
you're okay. You're 100%. Like,
Recovered, yeah.
yeah, you know, even like as a kid, if you break your bones, like usually you recover pretty quickly. But as you get older, that recovery process slows down, sometimes stops altogether. And it's because a lot of those things our body naturally produces, we don't produce any further. So you should supplement and replace those things, so that way you could be at that optimal level.
Yeah.
That way you could run around and play with your kids when you get older, you know? That way you can, if you want to go on a hike in Hawaii, you don't have to worry about, no, I can't because I have knee problems. Like, no, you can. You actually can. You've taken BPC, TB500, a little bit of ipamorelin, maybe some tesamorelin or whatever you're taking, you know, to keep your GH levels high, your testosterone levels high, and you get out there and you can still live your life. Like, just because you're old doesn't mean you have to be old,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Is there anything you guys want to say before we wrap it up?
I just want to say thanks for this opportunity, man. It's
Yeah, you're
great meeting both of you guys in this environment. Anyway, I can help you. Let me know.
Same,
versa.
man. Same. I'm pretty sure we'll be running into each other,
Yeah,
you know, a lot
definitely.
going forward. Are you going to the Fit Expo in LA? Are you going to set up a booth there?
We're thinking about it. We'll see how
You
that
should.
goes. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely should, man.
We did in the past with my other brand.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll probably be. It's in January, so.
I'll if you do plan on doing it, we could talk later on down the road as we get to January, but I'll introduce you and like some of my guys and people that I know there, like D Scuddy, Jay Cutler, and some of the guys, so that way you can network with them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great opportunity for you.
Okay.
It was great meeting you as well too,
Yeah,
man.
man,
Yeah, seriously,
definitely.
bro.
For sure, bro.
Awesome. Thanks, Emmett. I appreciate the
Thanks, man.
opportunity, man. It was
Appreciate it,
great
bro.
talking,
Thank
man.
you, man.